guys, I wanted to take a moment and help you understand how to change the master slide in the WCFW PowerPoint template, or maybe templates that I've given you. It might be as easy as you think it is. It might be a little more complicated. And if you've not had any experience doing it, I just want to make sure that you know what to do. So I'm going to make the guess for a moment that you have seen or are about to see the templates that I'm loading into WhatsApp. And I need you to use those templates in that way for the work you're doing for the lessons that are under development. But if you've already started your PowerPoints, and I think some of you have, I don't want you to have to go back and redo those. So I want to show you how to update the slide master. So I'm going to share the screen and walk through a couple of things for you. So what we're currently looking at is the slide master for the first of the WCFW templates that we gave you some time ago. Now, I have updated those to include Westminster Plus, but because of the request of the provost and the requirements of Marcom, and that the dean and I are trying to be good citizens and play nicely in the sandbox, we're going to have to make some changes at this point. So this is the slide master that you might have already begun, or you've begun to use one that looks a little bit like it. To change the slide master, you can't simply edit things here, because you'll notice I'm clicking right now on this Westminster College or Center for Financial Wellness, and I get nothing. If I want to change those, I have to go up to View and then Slide Master. And it opens up the master structure for all of the possible slide constructs that we can have within this particular PowerPoint file. And I now can click on Westminster, and it then lets me change it. And not only will it let me type something else in there, it would go ahead and allow me to change the font to anything I might like to use, etc. So I have to go to the slide master. Well, let me undo a couple of things I just did. In this case, I'm going to change the slide master to look like the one that I was using a moment ago, or the ones that I've just sent you rather. So let me put both of those up on the screen next to each other at the same time. Is the one on the left is the one that I had sent you some weeks ago. The one on the right is the one I sent you just moments ago. And notice a few things, that a lot of this is the same. I've kept WCFW, or rather I've kept the logo here. I've kept a box over here. In fact, let me go to the slide master for this as well. So I've got the box to put in information on both. I have a heading to use here, or a title, and then I've got the banner that I'm using here or over here. I've left the line. So most of this is the same. But you'll notice that the size of the font here in the banner is different than the one that I gave you. And we aren't leading with Westminster College. I'm going to let the logo do that. But we're leading with, in this case, the Student Empowerment Series, which you've noted is what I'm referring to for those items that are the Financing Higher Education that Tori is preparing, Budgeting, Credit, and Savings that Isaac is preparing, and Preparing for the Job Market, which Henriette is preparing. We'll similarly use the Business Certificate Series for the Accounting, Finance, Tax, and Investments lessons that are being prepared by Jennifer Harrison, Reed and Schuyler, myself, and Giovanna. All you need to do, if you have opened up the slide master that you have, is go ahead and go over here and in all caps, type Student Empowerment Series and go ahead and delete Westminster College. Well, you'll notice it's too big now, so we need to change the font. What font do I have over here? Well, the font that I'm using is Calibri Light 32 point. So let me change this now to Calibri Light 32 point. Notice though that as I've done that, so I got 32, 32. Notice as I've done that, I've got to change where this little line exists because I altered it a tiny bit. So I'm just moving it up a little. And when we've done that, notice that it highlights these red lines. That just tells me that I've got it centered. Now I'm going to go down below this. And instead of saying Center for Financial Wellness, I'm saying Westminster Center for Financial Wellness in upper and lower case. And notice here, I've got that Calibri Light at 28 points in what I had originally, and I've kept it at 28 points here. So Student Empowerment Series is replacing Westminster College. The font has stayed the same, but the point size of the font is changed. Now for the text box I have below that, click here to edit master title style in both. Let's look at what I've got in terms of size and font here in what I sent you initially. Calibri Light at 60, and here we are Tahoma at 60. So I want to come over here and I'm going to just change what you already are working from to Tahoma. So it's changed it. I'm also going to take it out of being bold, and I'm going to stretch this a little bit so it centers it better. And I'm going to move it up a little bit. So it'd help you to do this with these items side by side. I don't believe I've introduced any real changes here. Let's see. I've got Calibri Body 24. Here I've got Tahoma again 24, so I have changed something. So I'm going to come over here to the one you're working from, and I'm going to change that to Tahoma as well. And it's in the same place. And so now I pretty much got these looking exactly the same. Now I've got a couple of other changes you might notice, and these are non-trivial. And notice that the bar that I have stretching across here doesn't quite line up side by side with things. This one does. So how do I change that? I'm going to click on the bar. I'm going to run it out. So instead of just being able to copy and paste the slide from the new template into your existing document or existing PowerPoint, you have to go ahead and edit the slide master. And we did that by opening up your template, going to View, and clicking on Slide Master. As we're done with it, we then need to close the Slide Master. Slide Master, there it is, close. And they look virtually identical. Now, except for in this one I have on the right, I've got a couple of items here because I want you to put your name or names, your titles, and Bill and Vive Gore School of Business. Let me show you an example of what I've done for myself. So in this case, I've used the Business Certificate Series instead of the Student Empowerment Series. I've given it label here for the first video that I'm working on, and that is Introduction to Investing. I've gone ahead and given myself and the alphabet after my name, my title is Associate Professor of Finance, Bill and Vive Gore School of Business. If this was Reed and Schuyler, and let's say they're working on Introduction to Finance, and change this. Oh, I might make it a little bit different. I'm not sure I would use titles here. I would probably just go ahead and put Reed, Neal, and Schuyler Chelander, Bill and Vive Gore School of Business. If they would like to use titles, I would say Finance. I can go ahead and put it in parentheses. something along these lines. I'm not all that particular what you use in terms of your own titles. In the Center for Financial Wellness, I haven't really given you guys titles. Reed has one maybe that is appropriate for University Evaluation Group. But I think that just putting your name and maybe the program that you're in is appropriate here. And then you can go ahead and save that. Hopefully this helps you understand how to make these modifications. Let me show you one other thing here. So I want to make sure that you see what we can't do with these two files. So I've got on my left simply the original PowerPoint format, and on the right I've got the edited or updated format, this one actually having for the Student Empowerment Series. The only difference between that and the other one is showing Business Certificate Series. So you might suppose that since these look so similar, we can simply go ahead and click on this one, Control C to copy it, and come over here and Control V to paste it. But notice what happens when we do that. Here's the original that was sitting here, and here's the one that we just pasted inside. They both are Westminster College Center for Financial Wellness. But we pasted inside of that the one that says Student Employment Series, Westminster Center for Financial Wellness. Let me do that again. I'm over here on the right, Control C. I bring it over here to the left, Control V. And in fact, it does give me another slide, but the slide is the exact same slide I've already had. The reason for that is it's using the same slide master. So slide master is a form and function within PowerPoint. And when we go ahead and copy in another slide master, PowerPoint thinks, oh, I'm getting a slide master. And what it brings in is the slide master that's already associated with that file. So literally, in order to change this the way that you need to, you must go into the slide master. And again, we go to View, to Slide Master, and we make our changes here, as I showed you a few moments ago, and then we close the slide master and we save the file. Well, I hope that's going to help you do this. It's important that we have the right messaging here. We've got a lot of eyes on us, and so help me get this done. Thanks.